Welcome back to National Report. We're learning the Polish government says that if Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu travels to the country to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, he would be arrested. The International Criminal Court had charged Netanyahu for a series of alleged war crimes against Palestinians in Gaza.
The Prime Minister's office, though, saying Netanyahu never had plans to attend and it was not due to fear of an arrest. Joining us now, Mort Klein. He's the president of the Zionist Organization of America. Mort, thanks for being here. Polish sources telling a local outlet that Warsaw was enforcing the warrants due to its wish to see Russian President Vladimir Putin stand before the court. The court issued a warrant for Putin in 2022 over the kidnapping of Ukrainian children from occupied Ukraine. I mean, what do you make of that excuse, so to speak, coming here?
I'm a child of Holocaust survivors. My own dear father, he rests in peace, died. Family all died in Auschwitz. My father was in Auschwitz. This is an outrageous Jew hatred and nothing else. One, Israel is not party to the International Criminal Court, and the Palestinian Authority in Gaza are not states. So under international law, they're not allowed to bring this charge whatsoever. It is totally illegal and immoral. And they accuse Israel of crimes against humanity and Hamas. They're believing the phony lies and the numbers of an international terrorist group, Hamas, whose charter calls for the murder of every Jew, for the destruction of Israel, and says, first we're going to kill all the Jews, then we're going to kill all the Christians. And they believe their phony numbers of 45,000 civilians. Think tanks and academics have shown, even recently, that 20,000 of the people they claim were innocent civilians were terrorists. And beyond that, only a few thousand people have been killed, the lowest number of civilians killed in any war in history, according to Professor John Spencer of West Point. And they also claim that Israel is starving the Gaza Arabs. In fact, 800 trucks a day come into Gaza, 800. And what happens is Hamas steals the food and then sells it all over the place. So there is no crimes whatsoever.
Okay.
This is just a complete lie. And if they're so serious about crimes against humanity, why haven't they charged Iran or Syria or Somalia or Sudan under the International Criminal Court? They are really committing human rights abuses. This is pure Jew hatred. And in a time of rising anti-Semitism, this only provokes and incites more anti-Semitism. This is a disgrace. And I'm glad that 8 countries in the world have asked for this to be thrown out.
Yeah. Back in 2017, it was Netanyahu who had posted just a bit about his own family history, which I find interesting and time-worthy here. My father-in-law in 33, family staying in Poland, all murdered in the Holocaust. We only have this photo to remember. So again, you know, the idea of who Netanyahu is and where his family background comes from. Could you maybe speak to that for just a beat?
I know Prime Minister Netanyahu and his father very well. They're from Poland. His father and his grandfather were from Poland, his whole family, just as my own family is from Poland. And I find it remarkable that Poland, I was just there a few years ago. The government invited me to come. They told me they're refusing to allow Muslims to immigrate into Poland because they're afraid that the Muslims are violent and this will endanger their citizens. That's what the leaders of Poland told me. And now they want to arrest someone who's trying to protect its citizens from radical Muslim terrorists. The irony is just beyond belief.
And more of the 27 European Union states, only Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban says he would not arrest Netanyahu. France initially said it would comply, but now says Netanyahu's protected by diplomatic immunity after a ceasefire in Lebanon. Could we see more countries disavow the ICC under President-elect Donald Trump?
Yes, I think they'll have more courage to do the right thing under President Trump. By the way, 8 nations did file an amicus brief urging the ICC not to do this, that it is immoral and illegal. So I think under Trump, you're going to see a lot more courage of countries doing the right things against the ICC. By the way, this was 3 judges. The vote was 2-1. And the other 2 judges are extremely hostile to Jews. So we're talking about the difference of 1 judge, why this is happening. And the irony is, in a place, Poland, where millions of Jews were murdered, they're now wanting to stop the leader of the Jewish state from protecting Israel from having millions of Jews murdered. This is just astonishing. And we should not forget, this war started because 6,000 Hamas civilians and terrorists came into Israel, massacred, raped, and tortured 1,200 Jews.
It was terrible.
Maimed 5,000 more, and kidnapped 250.
Right.
Israel said, we can't let this happen again. That's why they have to destroy Hamas.
And still hostages remain. Donald Trump had said if they are not returned by when he is sworn in, there will be hell to pay. We're only weeks away from that happening. Mort Klein joining us this morning with his thoughts. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mort. And President Biden reveals overnight he's